Hey everybody, this is Dianne from Alaska with another episode of Biters, and with me is...
Your zombified 30 something coming from the land of the now in the Sweet 16 Iowa State Cyclones. So, pretty excited about that. Got someone in the Sweet 16.
Right on. We had a kid from Alaska win one of the segments of the agility championships at the AKC this weekend.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
Actually, Alaska doesn't get national notice for stuff like that very often, so I thought that was really cool. All right. So,
yeah, twice as far.
Yeah. Wow.
Kind of makes you go,
Okay, so how did you rate it? Because we're already getting ratings on Facebook.
Well, I would give this one I'm not going to say the actual word. I want to give it 4 skull Fs out of 5.
That's awesome. So I'm giving it 4.6 rooms reserved at the Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh, man.
It made me really sad.
Yeah, there was a couple of, gut punchers, just like, oh, man, oh, man.
And I mean, I was a wreck when Beth died. So, I have wreck, and then I have sad, and this is just mournful and sad. But, yeah, it was hard. So, quick look at the numbers from last week. I can't remember if I had these numbers or not, but same day viewing for the same boat was 12.53 million. It was number one still for Sunday night. Second was the Republican debate, and third was the Talking Dead. So,
That's cool.
Walking Dead is still on top on Sunday nights, even though our country is falling apart.
Perfect.
We're just preparing for the ZA.
Yeah, that's right. Zompocalypse.
So what did you think the meaning of twice as far was?
So, I mean, you can go the obvious route of they were telling you a spoiler in the title. Because the twice as far. I mean, twice as far, they didn't want to take the railroad tracks because it's dangerous. And then as soon as Daryl goes, come on, take the tracks, I went, uh-oh.
This is not going to end well.
Yeah, this is not going to end. So, I mean, they kind of hinted at where the big surprise was coming in the episode, just in the title. So, looking back, that was kind of cool. It's like, aha, you guys are silly. But the other thing that I think is really what it's about is that it took people twice as long or twice as far to come around.
Oh, that's a good point. So are you thinking specifically about Denise and Eugene?
Yeah. So that's kind of my guess, is that it was just them, just taking their time to finally come around, and that's really what it was.
And Abraham says, "Welcome to stage 2."
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
I loved Eugene's response. "You don't have to welcome me. I've been here for a long time."
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Well, so I definitely picked up on the railroad tracks as danger, and I thought Daryl doesn't want to do this because the last time he walked down railroad tracks, he ended up in Terminus.
Yeah, that, and just from a completely tactical perspective, you can see people walking on the railroad tracks 10, 15 miles away.
Yeah, you're right. Which, I mean, it definitely ended up being a great place for an ambush at the end of the episode, toward the end of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's you never walk in a ravine and you never walk on the top of a mountain.
That completely makes sense. So my thing was a little more philosophical, too. I mean, I caught the twice as far reference in their conversation pretty quickly, but I was like, okay, what does this really mean? And one of the things that I thought was that the burden of being good, quote unquote, makes the same journey twice as far. So even though our survivors have had a similar path to the saviors, in some ways their journey has been harder and therefore twice as far.
Yeah, now that you say that, that makes pretty good sense. If you're doing the good stuff, it's twice as hard as just being bad.
And Dwight brought it up himself when he looked at Daryl and Rosita and said, "Now your question is, who brought this on who?"
So that interaction, we'll get to that later.
Okay. Let's see. So author was Matthew Negrete or Negrete. I struggle with his name. He now has 14 credits as a writer on Walking Dead, and he's got a bunch of like directorial and producer credits on The Walking Dead as well. So he's someone who really knows this universe really well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat to see the longer term writers here, authors. It's nice to see them in a comfy zone, and you can see it when you get someone seasoned like this who's really kind of taken the helm on this episode and really just kind of delivered it.
He also had producer credits on this episode, but he's got producer credits on a lot of the episodes. So, and then the director, this is kind of cool. So the director was Ulrich Riley, and this is actually his first association with The Walking Dead, at least in terms of stuff that he's gotten notice for.
Neat.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, it's that nice combination of someone really seasoned and someone with completely fresh eyes.
Yeah, it just the way they're. I would like to know how they pick the who's who and who's doing what. Mm-hmm. You know, if there's like some grooming process, so they have these episodes kind of earmarked in advance, or so these are kind of our grooming episodes where it's not a really big pivotal episode, so it's kind of good for them to get their feet wet in The Walking Dead, so that way if the episode's kind of a stinker, it's not really too brutal.
They can blame it on that guy.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, so this guy has a few other credits. I just thought, he actually has quite a number of TV credits, and I thought I'd bring a few up. He's worked on NCIS and its spin-offs. He's worked on Once Upon a Time, CSI, Criminal Minds, Castle. So he's got lots of TV to his credit.
What else was there?
In terms of his credits?
Yeah.
NCIS and its spin-offs.
Yeah. Okay.
Once Upon a Time, CSI, Criminal Minds, Castle.
That's what I missed.
And there was tons of other stuff too. Those were just the ones that I bothered to write down and the ones that I recognized really well.
So needless to say, there were no interns doing this episode.
No. All right, let's go for it. Do you want to open with your epic?
Yeah. So my epic was Denise really owning her life. Standing, doing those things and trying to take on the walker and doing that kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, I really dig this, man. This is awesome. Like, she's owning up to really what's happening. And she knows that she is a burden on others unless she gets her feet wet. And, she puts some skin in the game, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I had that picked out before we got to the end of the episode, so...
So going for the big J, I mean, they definitely were juxtaposing her with Eugene. I felt like they were really on parallel journeys this episode.
Yeah, it was neat. I really liked seeing her. I'd always kind of found her as an intriguing character on how she was really going to be there. We knew that obviously she was the doctor, so she had value. But what else was she going to do to really bring it up and step it up a notch?
So I have so many things about Denise. She's actually not my epic, but it was really hard not to make her my epic. The first one is that she was, and I said this to you before we started recording, she was totally not on my kill list. So that was very shocking.
Yeah, you would kind of expect a doctor would have some trade value.
Yeah.
To her, so they might want to keep her around for when the saviors come plucking people away.
Yeah. And I really thought it was ironic, but really great that she was giving Rosita and Daryl a big speech about how brave he is, how smart and strong she is, and she doesn't realize it. And she was really talking about living, about seizing her life, and that's when she died. Yeah.
That was, did not see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of anticipated bad happening.
Yeah.
But I did not see an arrow coming through the back of her head. Like, that was like, whoa, did not see that coming.
So this is, and I, again, not to wander too far into comic book territory, but this is a spoiler for another character's death. This fate actually happened to another character, but I totally did not see this coming in this way at this time.
Yeah, it was cool. I totally dug it. And if you watch The Walking Dead, it kind of got spoiled, but we won't go into it too far here.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it really was Now, if she had escaped the episode, I probably wouldn't like, oh, she's probably going to die next week.
Right.
She's going to have an Easter death.
Because she had her highlight this week.
Right.
Yeah, and they actually did the highlight and the death in one season, or one episode finally.
In a minute's time, they did it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So was that your epic?
No, it wasn't my epic. I just want to say one more thing about Denise, and I'll probably have more to say when we get to the rotting potpourri. But I thought it was really cool that she finally got her orange crush.
So one of my rotting potpourris was, I wonder if Daryl is going to give it to Tara. Because he went back for the body.
Yeah, he did, and that kind of surprised me. They
went back and got her. Well, when I seen her lying there and they were carrying Eugene away, I'm like, oh, they're going to leave her. That makes sense.
Yep.
But they came back for her, so I wonder if he has the pop and then soda. Woo. If he's going to give it to Tara when she gets back.
So I have to say another thing, and like I said, I have tons to say about Denise, but I looked at that scene as they were walking away from her, and, she's laying there facing the camera, and they did a really great job of making her look dead, by the way. And I thought, I hope that's the center of Kirk's tribute art for this episode, because I think I might need it.
Oh, laying there on the tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, so my epic was Carol. That was also totally not what I was expecting from her.
Peace out.
I know. I mean, I remember that we talked about Abe, and you thought maybe Abe was going through that, but to all of a sudden, at first I was like, oh, she's dumping Tobin. That's what I thought. Hug from Daryl was more than we thought it was, and we're getting back into the shipping world again. And then just the whole, I can't love if I can't kill for you. I was like,
so I have it transcribed if you'd like me to read it.
Yes, please, because that plays into another part of my rant later on.
So it was funny though, because I'm like, oh God, she just dumped him through a Dear John letter.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be kidding me.
And how do you do a Dear John in Alexandria?
In the same town. Yeah. All right, so we have so much here: people, food, medicine, and walls. Everything we need to live, but what we have, other people want too. And that won't ever change. If we survive this threat, it's not over. Another one will be there to take its place, to take what we have. I love you all here. I do. And I've had to kill for you. And I'd have to kill for you. Sorry. And I'd have to kill for you. And I can't. I won't. Rick sent me away, and I was never ever gonna come back, but everything happened and I wound up staying. But I can't anymore. I can't love anyone because I can't kill for anyone. So I'm going, like I always should have. Don't come after me, please.
Which, of course, right away means that they're going to go after her. And the next episode looks like they're going to go after her.
Well, so I think only two people are going after her.
Rick and Daryl.
Daryl and Morgan.
Can I just tell you that one of the things that I saw or thought when the voiceover started happening in terms of reading her letter, I was like, that son of a bitch, Morgan!
Yes.
I was so mad.
So to go
this
with
is
the
Morgan's
letter,
fault.
Yeah, and he realizes it. He knows it because he sees her not on that swing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He knows something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go find out, and then he's going to realize, I just got her killed. Me doing nothing and doing all of this to prevent death just caused another death.
I think that if that is the case, that would be so well deserved.
And the reason I'm picking Morgan going out looking for her is because in some of the early previews for this season, Morgan is on a horse.
Oh,
we haven't seen Morgan on a horse
yet. Okay, I totally forgot that. That's cool.
Well, yeah, Morgan was on a horse. So I'm thinking he's going to go out and look for her.
Very good. I'm looking forward to that.
The horse or Morgan?
Both, actually. Yes, I admit it. Like we talked about, as far as Hell on Wheels goes, I am a tack slut. I do like to look at good tack and good horse flesh too. Go ahead.
No, it's your epic.
Oh, I was just going to say, so I have two questions for you about Carol.
Okay.
Are we going to see her again?
No.
Really? So I think yes, and I'll tell you why in a second. The other question I have is, will she meet Lucille?
No.
Really?
Nope. I think this is her total. Oh, we'll see her again just in season 7. We're not going to see her in season 6.
Okay, bold prediction. I like it. We've got to remember that one.
Yeah, I don't think so because it's too obvious then. And if you could pick one thing that Scott Gimple has done right this season, he's done plenty right. I think him being showrunner has just done absolutely amazing things and completely re-engaged me. Mm-hmm. But listen, Mr. Gimple, if you drag Negan out for a whole season, I'm out. But I think that's obvious, and they're not going to be that simple about it. They're going to move her somewhere else.
Okay, so I have another question, and then I have justification for my thoughts on both of those questions.
Okay.
My first question is, if Negan turns out to be really incredible, are you still out?
It can't go on for a damn year.
Okay. I'm trying to gauge how fast I'm going to have to look for another co-host.
Yeah,
I really don't like
right?
that.
Start sending apps in now.
So my justification for thinking that we will see her again this season, and I think she's going to meet Lucille, is that they're really setting next episode up, as we both agree, to be the search for Carol. And I think it makes it tie up very neatly to set it up to have her be the person who meets Lucille in the finale. I agree. I think it's very neat, but it also gets us away from our fears about losing someone else to Lucille. And it really ties her role and her departure up in a really neat package. I don't mean neat as in good. I mean neat as in tidy.
I would like to believe you, but I think it removes her out of the storyline.
And Melissa McBride is big.
Yeah, I think it just removes her out of the storyline temporarily, like Heath and Tara going off for a couple of weeks so Tara can have her baby.
Right.
In real life, Alana Masterson. I think that's kind of the same thing with Carol. I think she's just going to depart the storyline and come back later. I don't think she's going to be the savior like Terminus, but I definitely just see her in a Morgan side storyline because now we've got Morgan out. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just getting them out of the storyline for now to address the real situation that we got what did I say, 6 people? Was that my bold prediction?
I think so. It was a pretty high number.
Yeah. So we got 1 out of the way.
Which was totally unexpected.
Yeah, we got 5 more. So
5 more in 2 episodes. I mean, they could do it. They could totally do it. That would be a
this
really
week, 3
devastating
next.
end to be really devastating.
Well, actually, if you count, what's her face? Rick's ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
She would count as 1 too, wouldn't she?
Okay, so that's 2, right? Or you said 3. Who was the third? Or you said 2 and you weren't taking her into account. Yeah,
so
I'm assuming
I
you're
wasn't
thinking of somebody else.
I mean, yeah, it's still 6. 6 or more, I think, was my over. Anyways, what do you got for a fail?
So my fail kind of ties in a little bit to your epic, but I just think it was a bad decision to take the only doc out of Alexandria.
But does that make Hilltop's doc more valuable?
Well, he's already valuable because he's an OBGYN, but you're right. I mean, I think that increases his value quite a bit.
Now you can charge him a bill.
Well, now we can definitely pull Hilltide more and more into the story.
Yeah. So
Hilltop, sorry.
Hilltide, whatever. So all right, I'll give you that. I'll give you the doctor.
Yeah, and my little minor fail was the Metalhead Walker. I just thought that was kind of dorky.
I thought that was really cool.
Oh.
I thought that was really cool. That was one of my rotten potpourris. It's just a neat little addition, another little look on how, there was an accident in this refinery, and that's how he died.
That is so hilarious. So we've been kind of thinking along the same lines, but on the opposite sides nonetheless.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. So my fail was Dwight not reacting quicker after the dong snack. Because
that's hilarious.
When the bite happened, he was just like, screaming and kept screaming in the background. I found it very unrealistic that he had a gun in his hand and he just didn't shoot Eugene in the skull.
Yeah. So that happened, and not to spoil it again, but I'm trying to remember, and if any of the listeners know, I'm fairly sure that scene happened in the comic book, but it didn't happen in this way.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, so if you're out there, let us know, because I haven't gone back and reread the Alexandria stuff yet.
Which I thought was a cool part. I thought it was neat. Him just showing here's how I'm gonna make my paycheck. Yeah. I'm gonna earn my street cred, and I am gonna get a snack.
And oh gosh, what's his name? The guy who plays him. Josh McDermott.
Yes.
Josh really got a tremendous amount of ribbing on The Talking Dead tonight. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, they had hot dog trucks come for lunch that day, and Hardwick was like, yeah, well, now I know Eugene doesn't have a nut allergy.
Yeah. And I loved, really honestly, the way that Josh kept leaning over and like rubbing the leg of the guy who was the ultimate Walking Dead fan.
Yeah, the ultimate fan. Yeah,
that was really funny.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just was tough for me to see like Dwight not reacting because you have a gun in your hand. That happens. Why did you not just kaboom, shoot him in the head or punch him or something? So
because I'm pretty sure that when I see guys take it in the nards, that the reaction is pretty swift.
Yeah, even if it's pain, it's still I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have some sort of reflexive reaction.
So my epic fail was your epic.
Oh, okay. Go
Carol
for it.
Leaving.
We did this again this week.
Yes.
We did that last week too.
So, just talking about it, I am very upset with the character shift here of Carol. It is so aggravating and so just, I was watching the TV and I'm just like, you're effing kidding me. This is really happening right now. Are you kidding me?
It was really hard to see.
So pissed.
Yeah.
So pissed. Oh man, I can't believe this is happening right now. You can't kill for them, but now you are getting them killed.
And it definitely added to my overall sense of mourning for the episode.
Man, who cares about Tobin?
I just, it was so unexpected. I so didn't see it. I don't know. I just didn't expect her to completely walk away. What does she think she's walking away to?
I think she's just going to live her life as a hermit now. She is going to, kind of like what she was doing when Rick banished her. Mm-hmm. She had found that abandoned building and had some little rain collectors set up. And, she was just living to live at that point. And I think that's what she's hoping to go back to, where she's no longer responsible for anybody. And she's just out there in the woods living. Maybe she'll go make some goat cheese or something.
And build a cell in her living room.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, my epic fail really was not about the series, but it was about AMC's choices. I was really mad tonight. I finally have frickin' Dish. And what did they do? But AMC, for the feed that I watched anyway, started showing their sneak peek for next week over the top of Carol's reading of her letter. So I didn't hear the whole letter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that wasn't for us.
I was so mad.
Must have been that Alaska time.
Must have been, man. I was pretty mad, though. It really kind of detracted from the end of the episode. And then the other thing that I would say is they just really ticked me off with their decision to have so many commercials between the scene where they're walking away from Denise and the final scene of the episode.
Yeah, they got to squeeze in that last profit grab there.
I know, and it was
they know
actually
everybody's
really
going to watch it.
Yeah.
Because you can always miss the first 5 minutes, but you can't miss the last 5 minutes.
Right. It just seemed like a really bad choice to kind of stretch that out. It was really frustrating.
I agree. So all right, are we going to hit this rotten potpourri now?
Absolutely. You have something smelling kind of moldy and slimy.
Yeah. So my first one right off the bat is Rosita and Spencer.
Right.
What the hell?
Well, I think Rosita was kind of thinking, what the hell, too?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm like, terrible friends with benefits here. Like, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Like, I expected her to do that, but with Spencer? Like, come on, he's a punk. But then you started going down the list, and it's just like, God, why couldn't it have just been Eugene? Like, why couldn't it have just been Eugene? Like, that's who we wanted.
Well, because Spencer makes a mean jerky stroganoff.
Yeah, jerky stroganoff.
Which I can't remember if he's referenced that before and he's used it as pickup line before, but he does, if I recall, offer that meal to someone in the comic book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was just a little kind of torqued about it. Like, man, like, it just didn't. That was just me being aggravated at Rosita making a bad choice to go with Spencer.
Well, and I think Rosita was kind of like, ugh, what did I do?
Yeah, she was doing the same thing. Like, whoops, that was a mistake and a half. Good, serves her right.
So one of my things right off was just repetitively watching kind of the same scene unfold over and over again.
Yeah, the morning routine.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying to me, but then at the end,
it made sense.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's why they did it. Well, see, at first I thought like, oh, what the hell? Like they just screwed up.
I thought that they had done, that they somehow the feed had gotten screwed up, and I was doing
that's what I thought.
But I will say a couple of things. One is that I thought the shot of the flowers in front of the camera was really beautiful. We saw that a few times. And I did think after Denise died, nothing will ever be the same again. That morning routine will never be the same again.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to illustrate.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of go with that routine, where are those guns going?
Well, so, again, here we go. But in the comic book, if I remember correctly, she would bring them out and check them out to people in the morning.
Yeah, they used to do that, but they weren't.
So why are they doing it again?
Well, they thought Negan was killed. And now they know he wasn't. So I think everybody is going to be armed to the teeth now.
But, well, so they know after running into Dwight, at least I'm assuming they've figured it out, that Denise, that was weird, that Negan is not dead. But I don't think they knew that at the beginning of the episode.
No, they didn't. And it was pretty obvious to me, just by the way everything was now being done. Mm-hmm. We're reinforcing the walls again. We're lining up the vehicles again to make a quick exit. You know, they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they were pulling the weapons out. So, all right, everybody is going to be armed to the teeth now. There is no chance here. Everyone's locking and loading. So that's what it was to me anyways.
So something that contributes to Carol's whole arc, which happened early in the episode, when she and Daryl are sitting on the stoop smoking together, which I actually thought was going to be a way bigger part of this episode. He says that he should have killed the people in the burnt forest, and she was like talking about Shell and Malls and Paula, and she was like, well, they didn't do anything to us.
Oh, yeah. I wrote that line down.
Yeah.
He goes, because he says, what did those people who captured you, what did they do to you?
Yeah.
And she said, to us, they didn't do a thing.
Yeah.
And that's what was kind of, all right, I see what she's doing here.
Yeah.
She is completely checking out, and she sees the group as the bad guys.
So what was it a couple of episodes ago that Morgan said to her, you don't have to carry that? And he was talking about his guilt over keeping the wolf. And I said then, and I'm going to repeat it, she is carrying so much more than anyone realizes.
Yes, I agree with that. I think no one's really understanding. Well, It's just because of how she came off. Look, I'm doing this to get things done. And then people are thinking, oh, okay, Carol is just Carol. She's going to do this. She's cool with killing. It's just Carol. But as this goes on, we see that it is an issue for her. There are real things happening that she has a problem with. And now that she started, Morgan got in her skull.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are all kind of kicking around the can in there, and they make sense to her now. But nobody sees that because that's not the Carol that they know. She hasn't opened up like that, and she has kept it bottled up. She kept it from Tobin. And
she kept it from everybody except Maggie a little bit at the end of last episode.
And she kind of leaked it to Daryl, but he didn't pick up on it.
Mm-mm.
And he was just like, whatever, dumbass. Just whatever. And that's the thing is that now I think he's going to realize it and go, oh, crap. But I think that's what's in store for her is she just didn't make good choices. Terrible.
Absolutely. So what else you got?
The whole, just the Denise, Rosita, and Daryl. I mean, they really had a big part of this story, which was cool because I liked it. The one part in this whole thing, because as I take notes, I kind of group them together by groups of people. And this huge, the jackpots of meds, and you're an idiot for trying to kill when you don't have to. And then I didn't think they were going to show the baby.
I totally wrote down, if they show us a zombie baby, this is jumping the shark. So I'm glad they didn't go that far.
But it was pretty
gruesome.
The shoe in the bloody sink of water that says hush, 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 hush.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome.
To me, that's at the line. And it's almost across it. Because it's just like the rape stuff that we've talked about.
Right.
We don't need to go there. And I don't think that served any purpose to Denise's story. Because she could have been equally scared by something else.
Or of just the walker wasting away in a cast because the person couldn't get anywhere.
Right. That to me was just, it didn't need to be there. And it was just, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a dad now.
Mm-hmm.
But it did not have a place or a purpose because something else could have substituted it for that. But instead, they just keep touching that specific line, and it's just like the rape one with me. Like, we don't need to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've seen Carol's Sophia. That was different because we didn't see anything. It was just her. But to see something like this, and then to see the shoe and stuff, it's like, nope. Like, there's no point. It doesn't do anything for me in this story.
So what is that god-awful show on Sci-Fi that's a zombie show? Zombie Nation? Is that what it is?
I have no idea. I don't watch anything on Sci-Fi after Sharknado came out.
Well, this is a zombie show made by the people who made Sharknado. I watched part of one episode and I was like, I can't go there. But they jumped the shark right away. They had a zombie baby in the first episode.
Oh, really?
Because that's the only episode I've tried to watch.
So, I mean, they did in the Dawn of the Dead remake, but it wasn't a killed zombie baby. It was a born zombie baby. So that doesn't
not quite the same.
Yeah, not quite the same. It was just, it didn't need to be there. Because I was not expecting it. And I seen the hush, hush. I'm like, no. And then, I was just like, you're kidding me here. Anyways.
Well, I got to tell you, the first thing that I wrote down when I was kind of putting together the groups in my head is that I wrote Daryl, Denise, Rosita, not going to end well. Didn't end the way I thought it was going to, but not going to end well. And I definitely thought Denise telling Daryl how to drive a stick was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was her like trying to show her value, but I don't think she was trying to show her value. I think she was saying like, hey, I came from a farming kind of place. I know how to drive a 5-speed. Let me show you. Just let me go on, dude.
Dude, scoot over and let me drive. Come on.
Yeah, just let me drive. I can drive.
I actually thought they were going to do that, but
that's when she's like, Daryl, and they started slowing down. I thought they were going to switch out and let her drive, and then we're going to roll the truck or something and all that crap, or. The whole Eugene dumping Abraham.
Right.
Your services are no longer needed.
That was a big slap in the face.
Yeah, so they talked about it. They made it sound like, I can kill on my own now. I don't need your help.
I thought it was way more than that. I thought it was, you watch my back. I don't need you to watch my back anymore. I'm fully integrated into this community now. They love me, warts and all.
See, I thought it was more of, you hurt Rosita, and now I'm going to hurt you.
Well, I definitely felt like that was why it came out when it did. I mean, I think Eugene has been feeling this way for a long time, but I definitely think they were striking out at each other over the whole Rosita thing.
Yes, and I think that Abraham was thinking that Eugene was going to make a play for Rosita.
Which I think that could still happen.
Just by the way he was talking about, how do you do it, because he was asking, Eugene made the comment of, oh, you tied the pony, or you tied the Tennessee waterfall up in a pony or something like that. And he's like, no, it's not the hair that makes the man, it's the man that makes the man. And they go through that little spatting back and forth, and he's asking, like, how do you be a badass? Mm-hmm. And I think Abraham was kind of sensing that, so then he picked up his cockiness.
Yeah.
And then normally Eugene would have just kind of backed down, but Eugene just kept coming back. And they kept going back and back and back, and they kept trying to one-up each other with the whole, like, I picked a lock, look at that, look at me, I'm smart. And then Abe trying to knock him back in his place by saying, no, I'm the one who kills, you're the one who thinks, basically.
Right.
To kind of trim it down. Dispatching, walkers and the whole thing. So they just kept having this, I'm going to keep coming back over the top of you over and over and over. And then he just finally breaks and says, your service is no longer needed. So I thought it was just, they just kept making a play for each other. Mm-hmm. And then as it escalated, more emotions got thrown into the mix. And then I feel like he just did that for Rosita. And just kind of bam.
So the other thing that really brought up for me is not just the Rosita thing, because I do agree with you there, but it was kind of a theme in both groups, which is that they were being really selfish. So like Daryl saying, I'm not going to walk on the tracks, and him going a different way than the other two from his group, separating the group, selfish and foolish. Abraham saying, you find your own way back, and leaving. I wrote selfish. Selfishness gets you killed. So I think, one of the themes was kind of the fracture in the group. I think there really is some serious fracturing going on. And I just think if you don't have that cohesiveness, that gets you.
Yeah, I just think it's people struggling to deal with the emotions of everything that's happened. The wolves and the Negan groups and everything that's really kind of happening. I think it's people kind of, I use the term in my job, jockeying for position.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it.
Everyone's trying to get at the front of the pack coming out of the corner. But nobody knows how to do it. And the only way we know in this world anymore is by aggression.
Yeah.
Staking your claim, putting the stake in the ground and saying, this is mine. And when they're challenging it with each other, Daryl's typically the leader. And then, here's Denise saying, no, we need to go this way. And he's like, no, we're not going on the tracks. I'm the leader of this patrol. Like, you're telling me how to drive, and now you're telling me where to walk. I don't think so. And in the end, he wound up being right.
Yeah.
We don't go on the tracks because you get killed going on the tracks. And like you said, the whole Eugene walking off, while we thought it was selfish and bad was going to come from it, good actually came from it because he was able to save the group then.
Abraham,
because Abraham was just going to let him, it's like I do with my kid. We're in the store, he doesn't want to leave. All right, Benny, see you later, bye. And I just start walking off. I'm not really going to walk off. I'm going to walk around the corner of the clothes rack so he thinks I'm gone. But I'm not ever going to go. And I think that's what Eugene was doing, obviously, with Abraham, is or Abraham was doing with Eugene is he was making him think like he left, because even Eugene's face when he finds your own way back at, Dick or whatever he says, he's like, oh, he just left. Oh, uh-oh, what happened? So he was kind of stunned, like, wow, he just called me on my bluff. So that was good, man. I really enjoyed that.
So just to call a couple of shout outs. First to the Flight 462 episode this week. I am just telling you, I'm never flying without a knitting needle ever again.
Awesome.
Twice in 2 episodes, man.
Yeah, it's getting frustrating because it's not finishing yet.
But it's only got 2 episodes to go, so it's
only got 2.
Soon.
So I mean, it's pretty clear we're going to see the Asian gal from the plane.
Do you think it's going to be her? Or do you think it's going to be the kid?
I hope it's not the kid.
No, because I'm still hoping that the kid from the first season comes back. I can't remember his name right now, but I liked him.
Man, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
too. The kid.
Yeah, the geeky kid. Yeah.
Yeah, who came back for his knife.
Yep. One other shout out. Did you notice that Daryl was wearing the orange backpack?
Yeah, I noticed it. Where's it come from?
It comes from the episode where they went back to see Morgan. Why can't I remember that name?
No idea.
It was in season 3. Pretty sure it was in season 3. Might have been season 4, where they go back and see Morgan, and it was the other big episode that kind of built Lenny James's character more and more. And they're getting ready to pick up a hitchhiker. Well, they're kind of thinking about picking up a hitchhiker on the side of the road. They drive off and leave the guy.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that. And they just kind of swing by, and Carl reaches out and grabs it, and they just keep rolling.
Yeah. So that orange backpack has had more lifetime than many of our characters, actually.
So we had a lot of interaction this week again, and directly after the episode, we even had an email. I'll read the email here. It's from Carla or Charla. I want to say Carla. She sent one in. It says, Morgan's jail means his death. He's building it ultimately for Negan, I think, but he's going to try that door was never locked bullcrap that was played on him, and Negan's going to make him pay for it. Morgan is stubborn, and once something is in his head, he has a very hard time letting it go or seeing his way around. It's going to end up being the thing that takes him out. Love the show. It's quickly becoming my favorite Walking Dead podcast, so keep up the good work. So thank you, Carla.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice. That makes me happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So I'm on Facebook, so bear with me if I'm kind of stumbling around, but we had a really great We had a really great email message feedback from Christine Bowman. And I think that's a new name to me. She said, "Hey guys, sending you a message only because I wasn't sure where to put these posts. I listened to maybe more podcasts than I should about The Walking Dead and was surprised that none of them mentioned a parallel and, dare I say it, juxtaposition between our group and Negan's group in the same boat. Maggie and Carol getting captured and taken hostage for leverage was strikingly similar to the season 5 mid-season finale, Crossed and Coda. Our guys took 3 cops. Both Rick and Paula wavered between killing them outright and using them for bargaining power. Officer Bob used Sasha's grief as weakness, as Carol tried to do, and to some extent Maggie. Even the images of Carol bound and Maggie bound and sitting on the floor echoed how they positioned the cops. I find it fascinating we've seen our group on both sides of the same situations, and we as viewers are able to justify their actions. I know I do. Imagine if Maggie made a run for it, and Paula chased her down with a car, ran over her, shot her in the head, and then said, 'Shut up.' We'd see her as pure evil and beyond redemption. I love this connection and how it all ties into the season's theme of who are the good guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts."
Yeah, I love that where Rick just runs him down and boom, it runs him over and gets out and shoots him. It's just like, oh, yes, Rick has made the plunge.
But she's so totally right, Christina, is that, we justify it in our characters, but if one of Negan's group had done it, and I think we're seeing more and more that they're very capable of that, we would totally make excuses for our group.
Well, it goes down to show you that it's all in the eye of the beholder. Even Mag said, "You're not the good guys."
Yeah.
Or
Shell said that to Maggie. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the good guys.
Yeah.
So it's all in the eye of the beholder, and we are in Rick's camp. We view this series through them, so we feel a part of it. We have that emotional connection, more so this season than ever, I believe. And we're justifying everything Rick is doing and the group is doing.
I mean, I'm totally down with them being bad, killing mercenaries right now, because I'm like, I kind of have a sense of what's coming with Negan, and I'm down with our survivors kicking them out first.
Yeah, I'm digging it. What else do we have? We had some more.
So we had some good immediate feedback from Thomas Reese about this episode, and I really wanted to bring this up, so I'm glad that he did. He said, looks like Negan did work on Dwight's face with an iron. And it's true. And in, again, comic book, but in the comic book, that's a way that he punishes people.
A la chopping your pinky off for stealing gas.
Right, but they actually specifically showed him in the book ironing Dwight's face like this, and he's done it to other people. So I'm kind of psyched about that. That's a pretty gruesome way to discipline people, but it's ripped out of the comic book. And then Thomas Reese also said, so Morgan kidnapped Carol, forged a letter, and left it for Tobin to throw everyone off?
That would be hilarious if Carol's in that prison cell.
I don't think she is, but I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think she is, just because he was staring at that swing, was just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yep.
But it would be hilarious if he had her in that jail cell.
Yep.
Which, back to the jail cell, I love it. Rick walks in, he's like, Morgan, why?
Yeah.
He's like, so we can have a choice next time.
I thought Morgan's answer was so stupid, but I love that he got caught.
Yeah. I mean, so we can have a choice, sure. But I thought it would have been funnier if he would have, or more like a flexing back, putting a stake in the ground and saying, just in case someone tries to overstep their bounds, or just in the next time someone tries to show their power, something like that, to where it wasn't directed at a bad person, it was just out there.
Oh, see, I kind of felt like it was just out there, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, so that would have been cool. So it kind of then makes Rick go like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're making it for me, huh?
I mean, I guess the fact that we're talking about Morgan so much, again, means that Lenny James is doing a great job and that this really is an issue of big controversy. But, man, I'm so ready for him to go, and I just never thought I'd say that. I know we've talked about that before. So.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's going to go, because ultimately somebody of importance is going to be thrown in that prison, and Morgan's going to get his way. So I was expecting Morgan to die. I don't think he's going to.
Really?
No, I think Morgan's in it for the long haul.
Oh, man, another bold prediction. That's 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's in it for the long haul now.
So, some other feedback, and I'm sorry, we're probably not going to get to all of the feedback, but Thomas O'Mara said about today's episode, 4 out of 5 dick bites. Started off slow, and I thought it was going to be filler, but the last 20 minutes were incredible. And Daryl got his crossbow back.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought it was a filler episode. I was just like, oh, man, like, I knew it was coming at some point. I knew it had to have happened, so I guess let's just get through it. But like you said, the last 20 minutes just kind of came on strong and just kind of started whipping around, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I rated it as high as I did for the last 20 minutes of the episode because it was just so shocking in so many ways. And I like that. I like to be taken aback and be surprised again. It's nice.
And for some reason, I don't see all these messages. I'm terrible at this.
Well, while you're looking, I'm going to give another shout out to Thomas O'Mara. So I posted my new ink, and he posted a picture of one that he had done in Miami after he was on the Walker Stalker cruise. And it's based on the picture of the green balloons flying up over the wall. And it says JSS in bloody letters. And I think it's so good. I mean, I've really been thinking about what I would like to have as another Walking Dead tat. And I mentioned to him that I'd love to get Rick and his iconic python, but it's so overdone. But his is
porn.
I know. I totally said I'm referring to the gun. But his is really unique looking. I really like it. And someone who's really into The Walking Dead would get it, but someone who's not would not understand it. So I just thought it was a great piece of ink.
That plus Thomas threw up the meme where it has Tara telling Denise, I love you. And then Denise says, I love you too, EYE with the arrow through. Love that. That's pretty awesome.
And someone else was like, that quick? Was quick. So soon? Jamie Burns, our guy who shared pictures from Walker Stalker, I think the cruise, also shared a picture of a zombie tat that his next door neighbor did. His next door neighbor is a tattooist. It's really gruesome. I would highly recommend that people look at Jamie's comment and check out the picture, because there's a nice bite right in the middle of it, and it's on this person's neck. And the bite looks so real. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't get away with it. I'm wearing a lab coat to cover these as is, but it was really good.
Oh, there we go. Visitor post. See, now I see it. Oh, my God.
Because you're looking at more of the bling that people shared with us, right?
Yeah. That one guy who has the whole living room and the hand.
Yeah. I love the hand. That's Thomas O'Mara again.
Yeah, that was some awesome stuff, man. That was really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool. So if anyone, by the way, if anybody wants to like pay for me to go on one of these cruises or wants to buy me some Walker Stalker con stuff, we can totally go hang out. I'll autograph anybody's signature you want me to. No problem.
So I did talk a little bit with Jason Kabasi from the Walking Dead cast, and he's been doing a lot with Walker Stalker Con, and I was like, dude, if you ever need anyone to rotate you out, and he was like, no, the line is really long, but if you make it to a Walker Stalker Con, there's a fair chance that you could probably co-moderate a panel. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be super cool. I'm definitely planning on going, so that'd be really fun.
Awesome. Well, hey, everybody, keep all the fun stuff coming. Do you have anything else? Let me go through my notes here real quick. Keep the fun stuff coming. It was great. It's fun. We love seeing tattoos, and if you're a tattoo artist and you live anywhere near Iowa and you just want to do something, hit me up. We can talk on the side, off the air. One thing is Carol, when Daryl is burying Denise.
Yeah.
And what were the words she said? What did she say?
I didn't catch it.
It was something about Dwight. And he says to her, oh, man, damn it. Hold on a second. Talk. So
I got to tell you, I thought about my friend Jill Marcella, who is trying to catch up to this season. I just finally got her to start the whole series like in December. And she has been watching like mad. And I ran into her today and she was like, man, Daryl needs to get a haircut because I can't see his eyes. And I thought of her when that scene opened up and it's got Daryl's hair all flopping over his face while he's digging. I thought, oh, poor Jill.
So I can't find the line. Dang it. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. So she says something to him as he's putting the dirt in. She says something. And I went, oh my God, this totally goes back to season 2 and 3.
Oh, now I'm going to have to watch it. I mean, I'm going to watch it again anyway with hubby, but... Yeah,
it was just some little one-liner. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it always comes back or something like that. It was something. And it's just like, goes all the way back to like season 2 and 3, where Carl is crying and he tells Rick back at the prison, he says something, you don't have to always kill or something like that. And he goes, yes, you do.
Yeah.
You always have to do it. If you would have killed the governor, he would have never came back. If I would have killed that walker on the farm, it would have never killed Dale. And he goes on this list of like 3 or 4 things that if you would have killed this or this person, it would have prevented this. If you would have killed X, it would have prevented Y and Z.
Well, and actually, I think that really plays into what Carol's letter said, which is about, we've got all this and someone's going to take it. And when we deal with that threat, there's going to be another threat. It's the same kind of thing.
Well, not really. I mean, they're not repopulating as fast as we're killing them off. So at some point, you're going to reach that breaking point where you're just all alone.
Yeah, baby Gleggy is going to have to grow up really fast.
Yeah, little ass kicker is going to need some company.
Well, a couple more things, and then we can probably wrap it up. So Art Mora said about last episode, I keep thinking of that hug that Daryl gave to Carol. She couldn't have felt safer, not even in Tobin's arms. Even I felt safe. And you said that you thought there were some ramifications, and I was like, I think that it might, but the people who are shippers need to let it go, because even Norman Reedus has said that Daryl is, quote, asexual, and I think that Daryl's got a bunch of trauma he needs to work through. I don't think we're ever going to ship him into anything with anybody.
No, I don't think so either. I've wanted it to happen over and over and over, but just like you said, I mean, he's got so many things he thinks about in his life with Merle and his abusive father and abusive brother. I mean,
and he brought up Merle again tonight.
Yeah, he did. He's always thinking about that stuff because he's always referencing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means like he had a very bad life until the apocalypse hit.
Which is just so awful that you have to have the ZA to have a good quality of life.
Yeah, and ultimately that's what it is.
But I do think that he has come into his own. He's valuable in a way that he was never valuable, at least in his own mind, before.
Yeah, he was just a junkie before, and now he's a leader.
Yeah. There's a little back and forth too about whether or not Carol was bit or whether she cut herself on the rosary, and I think it was confirmed on Talking Dead that she had cut herself on the rosary.
Yeah, and we would have known by now.
Yeah. And then Gijo Puthia said about last episode, it was good, but our group has to be the luckiest people still alive. They can kill like 50 people and none of them even has a scratch. I guess we can file that with the suspension of disbelief.
Or the kill count is just getting ready to happen.
Yeah, you told him we can get ready for the kill fest.
Mm-hmm. It's coming. We gotta lose 5 characters in two episodes,
man. So I don't think anybody's gonna die next episode. I don't think we'll see Negan. I think that the finale, which is I found out today, 90 minutes long, is gonna be huge.
Yes, awesome, good. I'm glad they're doing 90.
I am too.
Makes me happy.
I am too.
Well, that's all I got. We were happy to record on Sunday nights now.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's awesome. We get to do this now, and that means Dianne doesn't have to wake up extremely early in Alaska time.
But Brian has to stay up really late on Sunday nights.
Yeah, it's not so bad because I just related to Sunday Night Football, and this is about when the game would be getting over here pretty soon. But anyways.
God.
All right, everybody.
Well,
you know what to do. Take it one dead day at a time. That was terrible.
You gotta give me some cue. I think the one that's worked out best, sadly, was the one where you
we counted down.
Sort of cue.
Yeah, terrible.
All right, have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.